All right, what is going on, penny boys and gals? What's going on for those of you who are watching after the fact here on the YouTube recording? We are starting our trading trivia tonight. We are recording it because we were doing a class followed by trivia, and I wanted to make sure the class portion was recorded. Of course, the trivia portion we'll do off of the record. So for those of you who want to tune in, maybe if you're tuning in after the fact, you want to tune in live and be a part of the trivia and win some prizes, some merch maybe, tune in every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, and so I do have, just for those of you who are aware, we have the Discord chat right up on the screen, so those who are watching after the fact can see all the fun stuff that y'all put in the chats. I know y'all are a very interesting and fun bunch when it comes to the humor, just like myself. I like that kind of humor. I'm not knocking it, that's for sure. NVIDIA's looking better now. I know we had that big NVIDIA stream earlier. All right, so Lael, everything is all set up. Let's get right into it. So today we're going to be diving into a topic that is crucial for understanding one of the mental blocks that can hold us back as traders. This mental block is actually something that happens to us without us even knowing a lot of the times, or even being aware that it's happening. What's going on, Vans? No such thing as too late. Yeah, a little late is just on time, because we're just getting started here. So we're going to be talking about, this is going to be about learned helplessness. So with technical analysis and fundamental analysis, all the info is in front of us. There's nothing hidden from us. If we looked over an RSI divergence in the charts, because we looked over an RSI divergence. If we missed a negative result on the balance sheet, it's because we just missed it. But with trading psychology, there are things that can negatively affect us and our trading that we can't even see, and we might not even be aware of. So, unlike the charts where it's like, how did I not see that? Oh, the RSI had divergence, and I got into the play when I shouldn't have. How did I not see that the balance sheet was telling me that this company was going to go to zero any second now? But with trading psychology, there's a lot of stuff that happens to us and affects our trades negatively, and might cause profits to go to losses, just losses in general that we don't even see, we're not even aware of. It happens subconsciously. Being literally 5 minutes ago. Well, we started at 5:05 officially. So, what's going on, Chad? And to be fair, the dude, you did get on the wheel. Those who are coming in just now did not get on the wheel, but we do have some more times to get on that wheel for the giveaways. So some of these aspects might be affecting you as a trader in your current trading. You just don't even know about it. So you could be struggling right now due to a reason or emotion that you aren't even aware of, or the way that you had. And that's why we do these trading psychology streams every week, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes we do some trading psychology based stuff here in the trading trivia as well. And that's why I made those trading psychology classes. You can find in the pinned messages of that trading psychology channel. And it's just so that we can help you figure out what those hidden emotions or biases are that are holding you back might be. And, we talk about it a lot because I know, a lot of people look past it because the psychology is very boring compared to, learning about a fair value gap, technique, or, learning about the balance sheet or, whatever it may be. But it is very, very, very important. So today we're going to be talking about learned helplessness. This concept might be familiar to some of you in a general sense, but tonight we're going to be talking about how it affects us as traders. Does not play around about being. I'm not gonna lie, Sailor Brown. I am like the worst about actually being on. Well, you were at Florida. I was like the last one walking in, besides Austin, obviously, to a few of the events. So let's start with the basic definition. So, learned helplessness is a psychological condition where an individual feels powerless to change their situation after repeated failures or negative experiences. It's like being trapped in a cycle where you begin to believe that no matter what you do, the outcomes will always be the same, negative. And has anyone had that happen to them in their trading career, life in general, where you just have a bunch of L's in a row and you just feel like, like this is because of me, I can't win, whether it's in trading or just anything in general. To give you some background, the concept of, I see some yeses in the chat. I've been there. I've recently been there with trading. Just when a few of those losses, even especially when you think that you know what you're doing, and a few of those losses add up, it can create this, this learned helplessness where you basically are your mind is subconsciously making you fail because you're believing that you're going to fail, and you not even know that you're doing it sometimes. I see me now from Vans. Yep, says Dead Agent 47. And, of course, like with all these classes, we'll be talking about what, learn helplessness is, but we'll also be talking about different ways to, to help ourselves, when it comes to different strategies we can use to help ourselves get a little better when it comes to this stuff. So for those of you who are saying yes or me now, Breckle says, hey, Cupcake. Dude says last week, this is the kind of stuff we're going to be going over in a little bit here in the later part of the class. The champ is here. That's true, Sailor Brown. Yes. Yeah, he had his, like, trunks on during, like, the 10-minute breaks. That was too funny. Yeah, it was like lightning storm. There's lightning going on, so he couldn't even go in, so he was pouting the whole time during the break. Alright, so, to give you some background, and for those of you who don't know, we're talking about the Trader Paradise event. We have some new ones in the works being planned currently, some meetings in the works as far as that goes, so stay tuned for those of you who might have missed that one or looking forward to the next one. We have more to come on that. So to give some background, the concept of learned helplessness originated from the work of a psychologist. His name was Martin Seligman, and this is in the late 1960s. So he basically conducted experiments with dogs. I don't personally like his experiment that he did, but he discovered that after being exposed to inescapable shocks, the dogs eventually stopped trying to avoid them, even when they could easily escape. So his behavior illustrated a state of learned helplessness where the dogs had learned to believe they were helpless, even though they weren't. So phase one was basically where he had initial conditioning, where he placed the dogs in a harness or a small enclosure where they couldn't escape. Then the dogs were subjected to mild but unpleasant electric shocks. In the first phase, they were in a situation where they couldn't escape the shocks, no matter what they did. They were essentially trapped and had no control over stopping the shocks. Yeah, I mean, that happens, dude. That's why, that's why the coaching is so valuable because I know for me personally, it took me a while before I realized, like, oh, like strategy means like one strategy, not just like going on YouTube and learning all. Like I used to just go on YouTube and just try to learn everything and figure, oh, I'll make a strategy by knowing all this. Nope. That's why we have these individual coaching programs now. Um, so the exposure, so the dogs are subjected to mild but unpleasant shocks in that first phase, and they couldn't escape. So then phase two was testing for learned helplessness. So in the next phase of the experiment, the same dogs are placed in a new setup where they could easily escape the shocks by simply jumping over a low barrier to the other side of their cage or their enclosure. And on the other side, they wouldn't receive any shocks. Despite having an easy means of escape, many of the dogs that had been conditioned in the first phase to believe they couldn't escape did not even attempt to jump over the barrier. They had learned from the first phase that they were helpless to avoid the shocks, and thus they didn't even try to escape when it became possible. And then they had the control group comparison. So to confirm the effect, he also had a control group of dogs who were not subjected to the inescapable shocks in the first phase. And in the second phase, these dogs, when placed in the same setup and in the second phase, quickly learned to escape the shocks by jumping over the barrier. So he basically concluded that dogs in the experimental group had developed a sense of learned helplessness. They learned through their experience in the first phase that their actions didn't matter. And this belief persisted even when the situation changed and they could have escaped. So I know a lot of us, when it comes to trading, we get into this learned helplessness stage or, a way of thinking where, we think to ourselves, I keep losing. It doesn't matter what I do. It's just going to continue to happen. I'm just going to continue to lose. It's not for me. I'm just not good at it. Whatever it might be. And even when we might get a coach or, have the education provided, we still have that learned helplessness, helplessness in our system. It's still going on. So even though we have, in this case, in the dog situation, a way to escape, we don't let ourselves do that because of the learned helplessness. And that's why we're going to be talking about ways to not avoid that, but to manage that. Breckle. So this experiment, once again, demonstrated how learned helplessness could develop when an individual or animal, in this case, perceives that they have no control over a negative situation, leading them to stop trying to change their circumstances, even when a solution becomes available. And a lot of times they might be realizing that they're not letting themselves change their circumstances, even if they might think they are. There's a video. I'm actually going to post it here in the chat for y'all to watch after the fact. It went viral on Facebook about learned helplessness. In the video, a teacher gave a classroom full of students. I like this one better because it has nothing to do with shocking dogs. But in the video, a teacher gave a classroom full of students a piece of paper with 3 words written on it. She then instructed, so this is the whole full class, and they all have this piece of paper. There's 3 words on this piece of paper. She then instructed them to rearrange the letters in the first word into a new word. So let's say the word is bat, B-A-T. You could rearrange it to tab, T-A-B. She then asked the students to raise their hands when they were done rearranging the first word. Within seconds, the students on the right side of the class all raised their hands. They were done nice and quick. But the students on the left side didn't raise their hands, and they looked like they were struggling to come up with a new word. And so she then told them to go on to the second word on the paper. The same thing happened. The right side of the class all raised their hands within seconds, meaning they finished the word nice and easy, nice and quick, raised their hand. But the left side struggled and didn't raise their hands. She then told them to do the final word. The right side of the class all had their hands raised within minutes, and the left side, once again, still struggled to think of a new word. She then let them know that the reason the right side of the class was able to get the first two words so easily is because they were easy words. So 3 words on there. Half the class had words like cat and nap on the first 2 words. So they were able to raise their hand nice and quickly, easily. Whereas the left side of the room, the other side of the room, they had 2 words that were impossible to rearrange. So it was literally an impossible task. So let's say A and B. So side of the room A, easily finished, no problem. Raise your hand twice really quickly, no problem. Side B struggled, and they saw their peers getting it down easily. So basically, the third word was the same for everyone. So the whole class had the same one. But even because for the first 2 words, the people on the left side of the class struggled so hard, yet saw their peers succeeding, by the time that third word came around, which was a possible word, the majority of them had developed learned helplessness, meaning their brain was telling them they couldn't do it. So they actually couldn't do it. It was basically a mental block. So basically, once again, everyone had these 3 words. The first 2 words were very easy for one side, hard for the other one. And because of that, that one side of the room, they just believed, oh, wow, I must be stupid. Everyone else is getting it so easy. And then when it came to that third one, even though they could get it in theory, their brains made it to the point where they couldn't. And that happens a lot to a lot of traders, where they had this learned helplessness, where even though they could, they have all the education, all the coaching, whatever it might be, to succeed, this learned helplessness, this mental block, these emotions that you can't see, is what's stopping them from being a successful trader. And that's the thing that people just don't talk about enough. They talk about those charts and the fundamentals, and you're not reading this right or that right, but a lot of it has to do with the mindset. So now you might be wondering, what does this have to do with trading? So we're going to break it down. So first, let's go over some of the symptoms of learned helplessness in trading. These are things that you might do in your trading that might be holding you back. You might be doing it subconsciously due to learned helplessness. The first one is reluctance to make trades after a series of losses. Has anyone ever had that happen? Have you ever gone through a losing streak and found yourself refusing to enter new trades after it? This is often rooted in, I've had this happen to me. This is often rooted in the fear of repeating past failures, which can be a sign of learned helplessness. You start to believe that every trade will result in a loss, so you avoid making decisions or trades altogether. Dan says, "This is me now." I had that was me for like a good 7 months after a few big losses. I was just like, you know what, I'm done, and that's literally what I did. What's a losing streak? So Snowflake. There's another one, is feeling stuck or paralyzed when trying to make trading decisions. So once again, has this happened to you before? Have you ever sat in front of your trading screen, watching the markets move, watching the charts go, maybe listening to Ethan live trade, but you found yourself unable to pull the trigger on a trade? This paralysis often stems from the fear of making another wrong decision, especially after a series of bad trades like we just talked about. In the first example, we are refusing to take trades. In this instance, we are freezing up before making the trades. So you might spend hours analyzing charts and data, yet when it comes to act, you freeze. This feeling of being stuck is a classic sign of learned helplessness. When your past experiences or a failure make you believe that taking action will only lead to more losses, this ends up having you do nothing at all. Freaking paralysis is the word. Yep, the dude, you are 100% correct. And it's funny because as I say all these things, I'm like, yep, this happened to me. I remember this. Yeah, this sucks. But we will be getting into the different ways that we can help ourselves when it comes to this. But first, I see we have some new people in the audience. I'm going to go ahead and throw some new names on the wheel. Let me just adjust my screen so I can see the names. All right, so we have, and I'm, everyone who was already on this, you can get it on twice. Don't worry. So we have Farouk again. We got Ninja. I see Chen, Grekel, the dude, Fergie. Remember, we're gonna be doing some wheel spins here using this wheel for some giveaways for memberships, PB credits. It can be used for our memberships, as well as some merch. I'm just gonna adjust my screen here so I can see everyone who's here live. We got Takak. All right, we got Dead Poet, Snowflake, and remember, if I missed you, let me know. Pepperetto, what's going on? We have Yojo, Traders Paradise member, Charlie, future Traders Paradise member, Stickman, I'm good at MC, and Duco, who I'm hoping to see at the next one. All right. That's everyone. Yeah. Okay, cool. I need to get my second monitor set up. This is a pain. All right. Don't put Dooku on Dooku in. My computer's fine. This is my second. I'm just lazy. I just gotta get my other monitor set up. Yeah, let's go, Charlie. All right. So another symptom is blaming external factors for failures without seeking solutions. I used to do this my first year of trading. After a few losing trades, have you ever caught yourself blaming the market, the economy, or even the news or whatever group for your losses? It's really easy to point fingers at external factors when things go wrong. When this becomes a habit, it's a sign of learned helplessness. Instead of looking at your own trading strategy or decisions, we attribute failures to things beyond our control, like the market, the news, the economy. We can't control the economy or the market or any of that kind of like we have no control over that. We can only control how we react to it. And so this mindset can prevent you from learning and improving because you believe that no matter what you do, external forces will always work against you. So why bother trying to change your approach? Has anyone ever felt that way when it comes to trading? Yeah, Nikki's here. Yeah, Nikki's gonna be doing our trading psychology book club here in a little bit. All right. So, what does all this mean for your trading performance? When you're stuck in the learned helplessness mindset, you're likely to miss out on opportunities because you're too afraid to take action. This happens to me all the time. Your decision making becomes clouded by fear and doubt, leading to poor trades or just no trades at all. Over time, this can lead to our growth as a trader stalling because we're not learning or adapting. See, the worst thing that we can do in the market is quit. But the second worst thing is to take losses without lessons. If you're not learning and adapting, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, then you're not getting yourself any closer to that aha moment or that week or month or whatever that takes where it clicks and you become the trader that you want to be. The key takeaways here is that learned helplessness is not just about feeling down after a loss. It's a psychological trap that can severely limit your potential as a trader, and it happens without us even knowing. Once again, we can have the best strategy, like everything, all the education, but if we have these mental blocks in our heads happening to us live while we trade, we're probably going to end up losing and probably end up failing. And it's not because we don't know about the strategy, we don't know about the charts or the fun. It's because of our mental blocks. And it's because a lot of times it happens because we're not taking them. And a lot of people here are actually doing the complete opposite. You are taking the time to, figure out, go to these kind of classes and figure out what your mental blocks might be, what the trading psychology things that you need to work on might be, by doing self-assessments and by, really just diving into who you are. You can figure out what the symptoms of your personal trading is when it comes to psychology and then learn how to fix them or manage them. So we're actually speaking of self-assessments, we are going to be doing a self-assessment exercise to help identify learned helplessness in our trading. So just really quick, take a moment to reflect on your past trading experiences. I want you to answer the following questions honestly. You can do this either in the chat or to yourself. This self-assessment is designed to help you recognize any signs of learned helplessness in your trading behavior. A lot of traders don't do this kind of stuff. They just only learn about the charts and watch YouTube videos about fundamentals. And read the news or whatever. But this is the stuff that really takes you from stage one to stage to the next step on as far as trading goes. Make 400%. Do be ducked and feather. Okay. All right. So the first question is: do you avoid making trades due to fear of loss? You can say A, often; B, sometimes; C, rarely; and D, never. Once again, keep track. Actually, this is my first time saying it. So keep track of how many A's, B's, C's, and D's that you get at the end of this. And once again, you can put it in the chat or you can just keep them, written to yourself. So the first question is, once again, do you avoid making trades due to fear of loss? A, often; B, sometimes; C, rarely; and D, never. And Duke is driving. So I have this recorded. So for those of you who are driving, you can do it. You can do the exercise after the class. After a series of losses, this is question number 2. After a series of losses, do you find yourself hesitating to enter new trades even when your analysis shows a good opportunity? A, yes, frequently; B, occasionally; C, rarely; and D, no, I remain confident. So after a series of losses, do you find yourself hesitating to enter new trades even when your analysis shows a good opportunity? And that's once again question number 2. A, frequently; B, occasionally; C, rarely; and D, no. I already won, says Nikki. Question number 3. D, red flag. Do you feel that no matter what you do, you cannot succeed in trading? So once again, the question is, do you feel that no matter what you do, you cannot succeed in trading? Yes, I feel that way all the time. B, I feel like that way sometimes. C, I rarely feel that way. And D, I never feel that way. Once again, the question is, do you feel that no matter what you do, you cannot succeed in trading? A, all the time. B, sometimes. C, rarely. D, never. Hard, hard D on that one, says Boogies. I like that. Question number 4. When trades go wrong, do you often blame external factors like the market, news, or bad luck instead of analyzing your own strategy or decisions? A, always, B, often, C, sometimes, and D, rarely. So when trades go wrong, do you often blame external factors instead of analyzing your own strategy or decision? A, always, B, often, C, sometimes, D, rarely. There's no reason for me to have doubt. The dude. Question number 5. Do you feel stuck or paralyzed when trying to make trading decisions, especially after a losing streak? A, yes, frequently. B, occasionally. C, rarely. And D, no, I can make decisions easily. Do you feel stuck or paralyzed when trying to make trading decisions, especially after a losing streak? So is it hard to click that buy button because of doubt creeping in or fear of loss? A, frequently. B, occasionally. C, rarely. And D, no. Question number, remember, keep track of your A, B, C's, and D's and how many you get. Now, question number 6 is, do you struggle to find the motivation to study or improve your trading skills after experiencing setbacks? So do you struggle to find the motivation to study or just improve your trading skills after experiencing setbacks? A, yes, frequently. B, occasionally. C, rarely. And D, no, I stay motivated. So after a setback, do you find it hard to stay motivated? Do you struggle to find the motivation to stay in the market, to study, to improve? A, yes, frequently. I find that happening all the time. B, occasionally. C, rarely. And no, I stay motivated for D. Trading setback, Charlie. So like a lot, like a big loss. Like after a big loss, are you like, all right, forget this, or are you like, nope, I'm still motivated to be better tomorrow, to learn from this? Kind of like, like in baseball, there's a lot of amazing pitchers, but some of them just can't hold, can't keep their cool and keep their composure after giving up a home run, and they start throwing wild because they just can't keep their emotions in check. It doesn't matter how good a fastball or curveball they have if their emotions aren't in check, and they end up being a bad pitcher. Um, do you Number 7, do you often think that your success in trading is mostly due to luck or factors outside of your control? Yes, I believe that. B, sometimes. C, rarely. And D, no, I believe in my skills. So, do you often think that your success in trading is mostly due to luck or factors outside of your control? A is yes, I believe that. B, sometimes. C, rarely. And D, no. I just ripped my hair out the move on, so stick, man. Hey, I mean, coping skills are coping skills as long as it works, I guess. Your barber might not be happy about that, though. You stop. Yeah, that's how you know. After every month, you see how much hair is left to see how you've been managing your risk. All right, question 8. When you experience a loss, do you tend to avoid reviewing your trades or analyzing what went wrong? A, yes, often. B, sometimes. C, rarely. And no. D is no. I always review my trades. So when you experience a loss, do you tend to avoid reviewing your trades or analyzing what went wrong? Yes is A, B is sometimes, C is rarely, D is no. The dude, you got to put that D down. You got a Trader Sync now. You just got to upload it now. You got to put. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said it like that, huh? And there goes HR. Fair enough, the dude. No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm using Trader Sync, I know I do use Trader Sync all the time. But what I realize is that when I'm actively trading and actively using Trader Sync, if I have a loss or two in a row, I'll be like, all right, I'll update that tomorrow. The wins, no problem. I'll throw that in there, put my emotions, put my setup down. You're right though, the do wins and loss. It's like, do I maybe tomorrow I'll look into that. And deal with it. Admit it. I know, yeah, yeah, literally, TraderSync shows you exactly where you bought, exactly where you sold, the whole what your everything, yeah. Alright, so question 9 is, do you feel a sense of resignation or hopelessness about your ability to improve as a trader? So do you feel hopeless about your ability to improve as a trader? Yes, frequently, B, occasionally, C, rarely, and D, never. Maybe say, yeah, one more question after you. Dude, I love that though. And see, honestly, that's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how successful anyone, you're doing now. If you have that positive mindset, that's I would take somebody who is struggling with the positive mindset over somebody who's doing well with a negative one any day, as far as like me betting that they'll be successful in 3 years. Outside of I'm talking about not even stock trading, just in general. Question 10. Do you believe that your efforts to improve your trading skills won't make a difference in your overall success? So do you believe that even though you're putting in all the effort, it doesn't matter? Basically, yes, I believe that is A. B is sometimes. C is rarely. And D is no. I believe effort is key. And I love the agent. So what? So once again, how many you can just or you can say which ones you got the most of, or how many you got of each. But keep let us know, or you can let yourself know, or whatever. Just keep a tab of how many A's, B's, C's, and D's you got. So if you got mostly A's, you may be experiencing significant signs of learned helplessness in your trading. It's important to address these feelings and work on building confidence and resilience in your trading approach. So if you are struggling and you got a lot of A's, I know the first thing you want to do is probably look into how to do a chart. Look into our education on charts, or learn a strategy. But sometimes the best thing to do is just to just look inward. Start building some confidence. We're going to be talking about how to do that in a second here as part of the class. Some different strategies to take, but definitely take, if you are getting mostly A's, definitely stay tuned for that part of the class. For B's, mostly B's, you have some tendencies towards learned helplessness, especially in challenging situations. So focus on identifying and overcoming these patterns to improve your trading performance. So B's basically means, overall you have a pretty good mindset as far as this goes. However, when the anxiety is on, the stress or whatever it might be, or the losses start to build up, you might start to struggle. So that might tell you that, once you maybe wear I know Pookie and I were joking about a heart rate monitor, but like there are different symptoms that, that us as emotional traders have before we start before we start doing the emotional trading. And for some people that could be sweating, that could be starting to pace, could be checking Twitter or what, it could, like the whole goal of the psychology stuff is figuring out what your symptoms are so that you can then manage them. So for me, if my and you know what your condition is too. If my condition is that I don't set a if I don't set a stop loss because I have a fear of losing, or whatever it may be, or I don't sell, I don't sell at profit because I'm greedy, and I can tell that when that's about to happen, I start to realize, I go my notes and I see, all right, these are the 10 stocks that I held because I was greedy and I didn't sell a target. And I can look because I took notes. I could see, oh well, during all 10 of these, I put in my notes. I was getting really anxious and started pacing, beforehand, or I was getting really anxious. And I couldn't look at the chart, so I went on TikTok or whatever it might be. And there's 3 or 4 or 5 of those things, those symptoms that add up for 10 of those, all 10 of those trades. And I can now know next time that when I start to sweat, when I start to pace, whatever I'm going to go on TikTok, whatever it might be, now I can be, oh wait, this is a symptom of emotional trading for me, and now I can start to manage it. The first step is being aware of it. Just like, when you get sick, you need to learn what the symptoms are before you can treat it. You're not just going to take a whole bunch of medicine. A lot of traders just take a whole bunch of medicine. They think that the way to fix their struggles in the market is just to learn every strategy out there, watch every YouTube video, take every class. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they need to just, manage their emotions first before doing all that, before trying to take every single medicine out there, figure out what you need first, figure out what your sickness is before trying to treat it. There's stress tugging at your wires. The Colt can attest to this. Um, yeah, Nikki's class is coming up soon here. If you got mostly C's, you show occasional signs of Duck always runs late. This is true. That is true. You show occasional signs of learned helplessness, but overall, you maintain a healthy mindset for mostly C's. So that means this is a good thing to know for those who got mostly C's. It means you're doing something right So keep reinforcing that positive behavior and learn from these experiences. So this is a good thing too, just because we're not just learning from the negative things. If we're doing something right, we can learn to and reinforce that and to keep doing that. Play to your strengths. And take those wins and be happy. Like that's part of the whole mindset thing is appreciating those wins and celebrating the wins. If you got mostly D's, you appear to have a strong, resilient mindset with little to no signs of learned helplessness. Continue building on this foundation to enhance your trading success. Did anyone get mostly D's? I'm curious. Did anyone get mostly A's? Because I know probably a lot of people right in the middle with the B's and C's. Mostly B's. Yeah, that's what's up, Stickman. See, Stickman, that's a win right there. Your mindset means your mindset's definitely in the right spot, which is the first step, I think, of trading is getting that mindset to the right spot. 5Ds, 4Cs, 2Bs, 5Ds, 5Bs. Okay, right in the middle there. A's and B's. So Yojo with the 5Ds and the 5Bs, it sounds like for you, because you got those 5Ds, it means you have your mindset's good. You have a good set of you have a good like a good take on the market, and you're trading so far. But the Bs are saying that when it gets hard, you might start to struggle. You might start to get anxious or whatever it may be. So in this case, it might be just figuring out what leads to this. What is causing the stress? Whether it's day trades or a certain style of trading or maybe a certain day. Even for me, it was I looked on my trader sync and realized I lose all the time on Mondays and Friday afternoons, and I just stopped trading those days, and my win rate went up significantly. So it's just figuring out what those stress factors are and what's causing the stress. This is the first step, so we can get them out of our trading plan, out of our life, so that those B's can turn into D's. Classic keyboard. All right. So as traders, understanding the underlying mechanisms of learned helplessness can help us recognize and counteract it more effectively. So let's talk about the neurological perspective, the emotional impact, and the behavioral traps that often accompany learned helplessness. So, from a neurological perspective, learned helplessness rewires the brain for failure. So keep that in mind for those of for those of us who have this learned helplessness and aren't working on ways to figure out how to get out of that state of mind. What we're doing is we are every day rewiring more and more our brain to failure, and that's not a good thing for traders. So this is why trading psychology is so important in these assessments. At its core, learned helplessness is a psychological condition, but is deeply rooted in the way our brain processes and responds to experiences. So when we face repeated failures or negative outcomes, especially in a high stakes environment like trading, our brain begins to adapt to these experiences. Much more A's and B's. I love that, dude. That means that's winning right there. It's all about getting 1% better each day. For you, you got significantly better in the past year. The brain is incredibly adaptable, and this can work against us in situations of repeated failure. So when you experience multiple losses or setbacks, your brain starts to form neural pathways that associate trading with negative outcomes. So over time, these pathways become stronger, making it more difficult for you to anticipate or even imagine positive outcomes in trading. So essentially, your brain becomes wired to expect failure, which leads to a cycle of learned helplessness where you feel incapable of success, which usually leads to more failure. And it's a slippery slope. You just keep failing and saying you're going to fail and failing and saying you're going to fail, and you just do it until you quit. Usually, the majority of people feel this way about stock trading, which is why they call it a scam. A lot of people, majority of people call it a scam. That's because their brain has hardwired them to think that based off of their past experiences, either with trading or other high risk activities that involve money, such as trading. So their brains are hardwired to think that this is a scam. You're going to lose money because that's how they think. And us as traders, if we had that mentality in the market actively, you can see how that's a problem. So that is you, then this is something to work on. But a lot of people don't even know that is who we are. A lot of us have that emotion, that whole like this wiring in our brain that we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose. We don't even know it. And so we're losing. We don't even know why. We think, oh, it's because I don't know the charts. I don't know the fundamentals. It's because your brain, these mental blocks are making you lose, and you're just not aware of it. And that's why we do these assessments so we can become aware of it, so that we can work on it, so that we can manage it, so that we don't keep failing and not knowing why. Because once again, these are invisible symptoms. So the next is the emotional impact. If you want to start off, oh god. Next is the emotional impact. The role of fear, frustration, and self doubt. So the emotional toll of learned helplessness is huge and often plays a significant role in reinforcing the condition. So there's fear. So after a series of losses, fear becomes a dominant emotion. You fear making decisions because you anticipate that they will lead to more losses. This fear can paralyze us, making it difficult to take action even when opportunities present themselves. So a lot of us might, we might be 100% sure about this setup, but because of fear, we're not going to take it. And then we might have FOMO because we didn't take it. And then we might take it the next trade, and it might be a forced trade because we had FOMO from the last trade. And so there's our emotion, taking control of our trading and making us lose. There's also frustration. So the frustration of repeated failures can lead to a sense of hopelessness. You may feel like no matter what you do, nothing will change. This frustration further deepens the neural pathways associated with negative outcomes, making it harder to break free from the cycle. And that's why we have, once again, these classes to help you figure out if this is a factor for you so that we can then help you manage it. Because we don't want you to just keep going down this, this path of just self-doubt that makes it harder and harder to break free of. The more days that you have this self-doubt and you're not actively trying to do anything about it by, being aware of it in these kind of classes or these kind of situations, then you're just going to make it harder and harder for you to eventually break free from that negative cycle. And then there's self-doubt. So as fear and frustration builds, so does self-doubt. You begin to question your abilities, your strategies, and your overall potential as a trader. This self-doubt erodes your confidence, making it even more challenging to take the necessary steps to improve and succeed. Because remember, confidence is key for successful trading. That's why we teach strategies. That's why we have 100 plus free educational classes. That's why we have coaches. It's because once you learn what you're doing, it's a lot easier to be confident. Just put this right here for those of you. So those emotions we just discussed, fear, frustration, and self-doubt, they don't just exist in isolation. They interact and amplify each other, creating a powerful feedback loop that reinforces learned helplessness. There's a lot of factors that we need to work, we need to be aware of. And that leads us to behavioral traps. The neurological and emotional aspects of learned helplessness often manifest in specific behaviors that trap us in this state. So there's overanalyzing. It's when you've experienced failure, you might start overanalyzing every potential trade, searching for the perfect setup that doesn't exist. This overanalysis leads to paralysis by analysis, where you're so focused on avoiding another loss that you miss out on potential gains. Once again, you're so focused on avoiding another loss that you're miss out on potential gains. That's not risk management. That's fear. With trading, there's a fine line between risk management and fear, and having a plan and greed. The constant second guessing only reinforces the belief that you can't make a successful trade. So once again, risk management leads to successful trading. These good trading habits. Fear does not. There's hesitation. Hesitation is a hallmark of learned helplessness. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. After repeated failures, you may find yourself hesitating to pull the trigger on trades even when the conditions are favorable. This hesitation stems from the fear of making another mistake, and it often leads to missed opportunities. And then there's avoidance. So some traders respond to learned helplessness by avoiding trading altogether. You might convince yourself that stepping away from the market is the safest option, but this avoidance behavior only deepens the sense of helplessness. By not engaging with the market, you deny yourself the chance to rebuild confidence and learn from new experiences. However, there's nothing wrong with taking a planned break to refresh or to re-educate. That is still part of trading. The whole, you can be trading without being in the market. You can be taking a break from actively trading and still be trading, because trading isn't just buying and selling. It's growing as a trader. And so a healthy break does count as part of your trading journey, which means it counts as trading. So, but avoiding trading in an unhealthy way because of unhealthy emotions and still expecting to grow as a trader, that is detrimental. So these behavioral traps are not just symptoms of learned helplessness. They actively reinforce it. Yes, it will be, Dead Poet. The more you engage in these behaviors, the more entrenched the conditions become, making it increasingly difficult to break free. So remember, this is about trying to get out of that black hole. This is a black hole of negativity that usually kills traders. That's usually why those 90% of traders quit. It's not because they don't understand the RSI. Now that we've explored the science behind learned helplessness, let's shift our focus to the end of the class. And this is going to be the actionable strategies that we can use to help overcome learned helplessness. So just like in all these trading psychology live classes, we start by saying what the issue is or what the problem, the emotion is. And we finish by giving you ways to work on it. So these techniques are designed to help you break free from the cycle of learned helplessness and rebuild your confidence and regain control over your trading decisions. So number one is cognitive behavioral techniques. So reframing your thoughts. I'm going to pour over the Phillies game. Well, I'm a Mets fan, so but I don't know. I hope you enjoy though. All right. So one of the most effective ways to combat learned helplessness is through cognitive behavioral techniques, particularly cognitive restructuring. This involves identifying and challenging the negative thoughts that fuel feelings of helplessness. This might not be as fun as practicing the charts, but it's just as important for traders. So start by recognizing when you're having negative thoughts, such as "I'll never be a successful trader," or "I'm not good at this," or "I'm not good at this," or "I can't be good at this." Once you've identified these thoughts, challenge their validity. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? Like, am I actually a bad trader? Or am I just saying that? Often you'll find that these thoughts are based on fear or past failures rather than reality. So then replace these negative beliefs with more empowering ones, like I have the skills to succeed, or I had the material available to succeed, and I'm continuously improving. Yes, exactly. But yeah, Pookie nailed it right there. Objectivity and self awareness are nice. Um, Next is the small wins approach. So rebuilding confidence one step at a time. And this happens a lot in Rags to Riches. So definitely be sure to check that out. Overcoming learned helplessness often requires a shift in focus from big, overwhelming goals to smaller, more manageable ones. This is where the small wins approach comes in. So set achievable short-term goals that you can accomplish with relative ease if you're struggling. For example, instead of aiming to make a humongous profit immediately, focus on mastering a particular trading strategy or successfully executing a single trade according to a plan. Each small win builds your confidence and creates momentum, gradually breaking the cycle of helplessness. I know a lot of people in the rags to riches, they're not making millions of dollars, every week or every day or every month, but they are making money. They were losing and now they're winning. So they had this, they had reason to be negative because all these losses and this negativity was causing more losses. And now that they got rid of that negativity and got rid of that mindset, now they are starting to build a healthier mindset, which will eventually roll over to their other types of trading as well. Yes, like to CAC one good trade. There's also mindfulness and emotional regulation, so just staying present. So mindfulness is a powerful tool for overcoming learned helplessness as it helps you stay present and manage your emotional response to trading outcomes. So you can practice mindfulness by focusing on the present moment during your trading sessions or during the trading day. This can involve deep breathing exercise, meditation, or just simply paying close attention to your thoughts and feelings as they arise. By practicing staying present, you can reduce the impact of negative emotions like fear and frustration, making it easier to respond calmly and rationally to market fluctuations. We go over all this in detail in our past psychology classes, but being mindful is one way to figure out what your symptoms are of those negative symptoms, so that you can learn how to fix them or manage them. And so that's why learning mindfulness is so important as a trader. There's also visualization and positive affirmations, which we also went over in the past. You can spend a few minutes each day visualizing successful trading scenarios. It's kind of like how you picture yourself jumping to like you're going to be jumping across a bridge or whatever. You're going to visualize yourself doing it before you actually do it. So just imagine yourself analyzing the market, making confident decisions, and seeing those decisions result in positive outcomes. Or just, envision yourself making a positive trade, or do it in a paper account or a simulation account, so you can know mentally what it feels like to get that win, so that it becomes second nature. There's also, of course, positive affirmations, like phrases like "I'm capable of making sound trading decisions," or "I learn from every experience and grow stronger." I know it sounds silly, but it could help. Just every day, just going over some of these positive affirmations. There's also building resilience, which is key to preventing learned helplessness from taking hold in the first place. So resilience allows you to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to challenges, and maintain a positive outlook even in difficult times. I know a lot of you have a lot of this resilience, especially judging from your answers on the assessment that we just did. So we can do this in a few ways. One is by having a growth mindset. This means embracing failures as learned opportunities. Once again, embracing failures as learned opportunities. So a growth mindset is crucial for resilience. It's a belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. So instead of viewing failures as failures, you can view these losses as proof of your limitations and start seeing them as valuable learning opportunities. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I improve? By focusing on growth rather than perfection, once again, growth rather than perfection, you'll find that setbacks become stepping stones to success rather than obstacles. And like I said last class, your losses are going to define your trading career. It's up to you how. So next is developing a support system, just leaning on one another, and y'all do this amazingly here. And that's why I love the Penny Boys community more than anything else, is because we do this here. Because trading can be lonely, especially when you're struggling with learned helplessness. That's why it's important to build a support system. So, connect with coaches, trading peers, online communities where you can share experiences, seek advice, and receive encouragement. Having people to turn to during tough times can provide the motivation and the perspective, a different perspective, needed to push through those challenges. They can offer insights and strategies that you might not have considered on your own. So, having a support system is so important for traders. And it's also just important to stay ahead and continuously learn and adapt. Markets are going to be always moving and always evolving and always changing, and so should you. So continuous learning and adaptation is essential for staying resilient and preventing learned helplessness. So make it a habit to regularly update your knowledge and skills. This could involve reading a trading book, taking a new course, or attending a live stream, or just analyzing new market trends. The more you learn, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the market with confidence. And being willing to adapt your strategies based on what you've learned and the changing market conditions is so important. Flexibility and a willingness to adjust your approach will keep you from feeling stuck and help you maintain a sense of control over your trading journey. So by implementing these strategies and building resilience, we can hopefully overcome learned helplessness one day at a time, or at the very least learn to manage it and regain control over your trading decisions. Remember, it's about taking small, consistent steps towards improvement, challenging negative beliefs, and staying connected to a support system. With time and effort, hopefully we can all break free from the cycle of helplessness and achieve the trading success we're all capable of. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording portion of this because now we have the trivia